Well, hello everyone. Middle of the week day. How you doing? Good looking group of people, you? Well, I hope your day is going well. If anything, we do know the world is definitely getting much, much stranger. Wow, I was watching Trish G in her live broadcast today, and wow, that's one heck of a storm. Good every evening, everyone. I'm trying to read and chew gum at the same time. How is everyone? Good to see y'all. Good looking group. Hi, Kit. How are you doing? Mercury, good to see you. Richard, Suji, hello. How are you, my friend? Christina, Mark, good to see you. Fine group of people here. Terry, good to see you. Welcome. So, Joanna, good to see you. Hello, hello. Dawn, hey, I'll tell you what. Claudette, good to see you. Feedback, Wayne, is bad. Is a lot of people hearing feedback? Is that what they're saying? Let's see if that's the case. Good evening. Kelsey, how are you doing? Tracy, Joey, good to see y'all. Doing great. Everyone looks good. Anton, good to see you. Doug, spot on, buddy. Right on. Mind over matter. Hello, how are you doing? Boy, lots of good people. Brenda, good to see you. Dale, Belinda. Well, so question before we get into tonight's theme. Are we living in a predicted augmented reality? Now, we hear about predictive programming. In fact, yesterday, the New Orleans Police Department released in a press statement that they are now deploying, are you ready for this? Basically, what they would call augmented thought. In other words, this is the thought police coming. And it's amazing how Hollywood so often either gives us the seed in which to build upon, or there is a legal process in which whatever it should be or is has to notify us that this is happening. But what we do know, something is up. Now, here is the case in point. Allow me to go over here. So I'm going to have to go over to myself twice in order for y'all to see this. There we go. Everyone seeing that? I hope, because I don't have the chat room I can see it. But here's the point. February 22nd, this is NASA. Improved Hubble yardstick gives fresh evidence for new physics in the universe. Now, here's what most people don't realize. Up until now, with this new parallel view, as you can see, we suddenly have expanded by tenfold our view of what we can see of the universe. Prior to this, we had just a narrow, basically they said about a 3% view. Now, because of this new optics from Hubble, we can see, well, as you can see, a pretty good chunk of the pie. And what it's telling us is blowing the scientist away. I did a program today. Have we yet again entered into a new shift in augmented reality? Now look at this. So we have built all of our physics and our science based upon the rate of expansion of the universe, of what we've been able to see. And all of that has been predicated on a very narrow perspective. Teaches a lot about here about awakening as well. Now our perspective has expanded tenfold. Can you imagine if all of us expanded our awareness, our awakening, an additional tenfold from where all of us are today, regardless of where you are? Wow. Like Mary Rodwell said, you're talking about activation of a new ship. Now, look what it says right here. Intriguingly, the results are forcing astronomers to consider that they may be seeing evidence of something unexpected at work in the universe. That's because the latest Hubble finding confirms a nagging discrepancy showing the universe to be expanding faster now than was expected from its trajectory seen shortly after the Big Bang. Of course, that's if you go for the Big Bang. I don't. Researchers suggest that there may be new physics to explain the inconsistency. That's the problem with the standard model. Anytime, and Einstein did this, Freeman, all of the great physicists of our time. It's the problem is that when they ran into basically a dead end, well, they just simply invent an exception. And then that makes all the math work very well. It's just like Dr. Albers has shown us time and time again. So it goes on to say that the community is really grappling with understanding the meaning of this discrepancy. Folks, this is going to change everything about how we look at things. So what are going to be the repercussions? If we define reality based upon a state of matter, because that's what the mind has, we can only see what's in front of us, what we can tangibly see as an observer. That's matter. Well, matter has to be defined, right? So you define matter by its makeup down to the atom level. And now we're finding that math, that theoretical physics is all wrong. So I was thinking about this prior to going on air tonight. Have we seen, hello there, Jennifer. How are you? Hold on a second. There you go. So work with me here. Are we seeing the side effects of the D-Wave computer? I've been thinking about this hard because everything about our science is being challenged. Everything. The question I'm asking myself, the discovery of this new superatom that has atoms contained within it, which, we'll be dealing with this for the next 100 years. Are we seeing this effect, as they claim, that the quantum computer has generated an augmented reality where it has gone out and brought substance back from other dimensions, other realities? It's huge. What's going to be happening here in the next year? If this is already, we're only into the second month, and already we're finding things that are just challenging everything. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Yes, Kit Kat. Thank you, Scott. Planet X News. If you're not a subscriber, go over there. Appreciate it, Scott. Thank you. So, again, I opened this up. Are we living in a predictive program? We know predictive programming works. We're all victims of that. That's why Madison Avenue exists. I mean, that's why every kid wants to be a star now. You know, forget learning an actual trade, something that you can actually contribute to mankind and the betterment of humanity. No, let's go and be the winner on American Idol. Yeah. So let's get right to something here. So let me just set the stage here. This document, which you can do your research on it, it's going to be, you can see both sides of the story. It's been highly debunked, shown that it was a complete fraud. Okay, so let's just go on that premise that this is a complete fraud. Now, the thing that the debunkers, the agents of disinformation, never thought was going to happen in 2001 was that the internet would become such an integrated part of civilization. And time, well, at least of our understanding of time, doesn't lie. It gives us a baseline to base our reality on, our existence, which is important to you and I. All of our existence is important. So we're going to go at this in an opposite point of view. We're saying this is a fraud. This document, whoever produced it, produced a fraud. Now we'll let history be the judge as to what the fraud was. So I present to you, ladies and gentlemen, the future is now. This is a document that was talking about the strategic issues of future warfare circa 2025. Don't know about you, but that's really close. Now, supposedly, this Dennis Bushnell, chief scientist at Langley, was responsible and the head of this project. Tonight we have Bengal spice tea. I can tell you, I love the cloves, the cinnamon. Anyway, so let's go through this thing. This was going to talking about ongoing worldwide technology revolutions, economic trends, potential nature of further term warfare. This is 17 years old now, folks. All right. The bots, the Borgs, and the humans welcome you to 2025. Now, this presentation was based on the future works that, as you can see, while this is a very distinguished group here. You just go through some of these. You can look up the acronyms. I can tell you: military, CIA, the industrial military machine. All right, this presentation is meant to incite thought and discussion, is based on all cases upon existing data, trends, analysis, and technologies. Now, remember back in 2001, smartphones didn't exist. There was no things called app. There wasn't Twitter. There wasn't Facebook. Google was just getting started. Think about this, folks. Most phones were still on the analog format. They were converting over to the digital format. Wi-Fi had not even begun to be populated yet. All right. So we're talking about 2025 projections, inputs to future warfare concepts developments. All right. Going in assumptions, politics can and does change overnight. Now, back in this day, doesn't look too much different. Potential capabilities is the future warfare issue, not who, but what. Need to plan differently. World is in the throes of triple exponential IT, bio, technological revolutions. Folks, if this was what was thought about for futurists in development, DARPA, everything else, where do you think we have progressed? I can tell you just a few things. We're using DNA computers now. We have computers that can augment reality, generate new realities, go into other dimensions. We have nanobot technology that is everywhere. I mean, you just go through this. Okay. The spaceship Earth. Now they're talking about us. The crew are plundering the ship's supplies, tinkering with the temperature and life support controls, still looking for the instruction manual. If that isn't a holy crap moment, I don't know what is, because it means we probably still haven't found it. Engaging in bloody skirmishes in every corner of the vessel, increasing the size of the crew by 2 million per week. Humans have taken over the vastly shortened evolution of the planet. Global warming, pollution, deforestation, huge public works, the Three Gorges dams. Do you know that that dam in China actually is pressing down on the earth? They've measured it. When you begin to exert an artificial force down upon the mantle, well, what do you think is going to happen? Of the human species, genomic design and repair. Listen, in 2001, I invested in a company that was part of this Human Genome Project. It just started. Today, we're into Human Genome 2. Look at this. Mind children. Products, life forms, cross-species, molecule breeding. On a molecule level, directed evolution. (2001) now, currently, order of 70% of world's research conducted outside the U.S. to first order a percentage of gross domestic product. U.S. produces order of about 18% of world's GDP. We're getting into the economics. Order of 70% of U.S. research now commercial as opposed to government sponsored. Now, this is important. Remember, the companies, the tech companies of today were just merely in their infancy back then. Commercial. Imagine if you could have seen a possible future with Google. Nanotechnology research, 2001 now, 29% in Europe, 28% in Japan, 27% in the US, 16% in others. This is a race. Technological ages of humankind, hunter-killer groups, million BC to 10,000 BC, agriculture from 10,000 BC to 1800 AD, industrial 18 to 1950, IT 1950 to 2020, bio nano 2020 to what? Virtual. I think what we're going to see in this as well is that the time schedule is much faster than what they were predicting. Hunter-gatherer was nature provided. Agriculture controlled nature, plants, animals, domestication, etc. Industrial, mechanized agriculture. Okay. IT, bio, nano, automating. Industrial, agriculture. Virtual, robotization of IT, bio, nano, industrial, agriculture. That's already happening. We're in about a catastrophe. So let me just digress here a second, because two things are being addressed. This reality is here, and it's exponentially increasing faster than anyone had planned. This is going to displace billions of humans in the workforce. That's why they are now floating the universal idea of what they call universal income. because they're going to have to. Otherwise, talk about anarchy. Let's go further. Key future technologies, all highly synergistic at the frontiers of the small in a feeding frenzy off each other. So, IT, silicon, bio, optical, quantum, nano computing, no end in sight. Another 10 to the 6th power plus virtual reality, holographic, immersive, ambiguous communications, hyperspectral sensors. Do some looking up on that one real quick, folks. Virtual presence, automatic, robotic, everything. Huge cost reductions. Bio, lifespan doubling. Genetic engineering before birth. Plants was that irrigated by seawater, food, petrochemical feedstock, minerals, terraforming. Well, didn't some guy do a video on terraforming of the planet? By the way, that video's gone viral. It's getting on an average daily view about 2,000 views a day and now increasing. I don't know what happened, but isn't it interesting? Nano, carbon nanotubes, 600 times strength to weight of steel. This is this is evolutionary in building design. Assemblers, living factories, huge cost reductions. You seeing a theme here? Worldwide IT revolution. Communications, computing, sensors, electronics. U.S. commercial IT R&D, $100 billion a year. $100 billion a year. Now, just to take that in perspective, 70% of the world's countries don't have a GDP of $100 billion a year. In 2001, today's dollars probably be looking about 300 billion. Factor of 1 million further improvement. Silicon, molecular, quantum, bio, optical. Beyond human AI, they were already thinking beyond AI. Automatic robots in large, immersive, multi-sensory VR, virtual reality holodecks. Well, we see it now. The virtual reality devices are here, folks. And they are populating quickly throughout our culture. You have ubiquitous multi-physical hyperspectral sensors, land, sea, air, space. And of course, we get back into the micro, nano, satellite communications. Worldwide impacts and ongoing IT, the revolution upon society. Look what has happened to us in 17 years. All of this was future. It's all come to pass, every bit of it. Every bit of it. And more. So here we go through the progression, the evolution of IT. And it gives you onto each part of this. Look at this. By the time we started out, we had 1060 improvements in computing since 1959. By the time we get back down here, we're into war. Summit predictions. Now, this is fascinating. The reason why I'm doing this, and we may go for an hour and a half tonight, because this is what I'm trying to communicate to you. We're looking at a fraudulent document. This document has no credibility other than time. If this is a fraudulent document, I want to know the son of a bitch who wrote this because I want to make sure that I'm his or her best friend. Quantum computing, initially available in 5 years. Well, we know the history of this now. They beat that by 1 year. 15% of all power today is used by computers. Will reach 60% by 2010. When we look at the pull on the electrical grid, we've created it, but we haven't expanded it. Wearable, implantable, on-person electronics, communications, computing, sensory, augmentation, health monitoring, brain stimulation. Folks, I have done stories on this. Rex has done stories on this, so many. And now you look back on this document. If this isn't, I mean, I would love to have Heidi, Jenny Moonstone, Trisha, Sue G, all of y'all. Look at the accuracy on this. I mean, if we were in Las Vegas, folks, they'd be ushering us out the door. AI and beyond computing. Human brain characteristics and capabilities. 100 billion neurons, 100 trillion connections, 200 calculation seconds, slow speed and neutral circuitry, 20 million billion calculations per second, excellent at parallel computing, pattern recognition, poor at sequential thinking, operates via random tries. Machine capabilities. Currently, 100 billion calculations per second, 100 billion by 2004. Folks, we're way past that. We're now into petabytes. By 2010, 20 million billion is available by 2025 on a PC. Folks, we're so far ahead of that. I mean, we can't even see it in the rear view mirror anymore. By 2030, PC has collective computing power of a town full of human minds. We're past that. Well, that's history. U.S. Human Brain Project. Begun in early 90s, funded by 16 organizations across 5 agencies: NIH, NSF, DOD, NASA, DOE, aka the neuron informatics, intersection of neuroscience and informatics. Exploding field. 10,000 individual presentations at annual meeting of the Society for Neuroscience, from molecular geneticists to cognitive psychologists. Determining detailed neuroanatomy of human brain, digital brain atlas. Use of IT to study brain, use of brain info to aid IT/AI. Now, we don't even use IT anymore. You know, it's an older phrase. The imagination engine, aka creative machine, aka creative agent. Current AI best bet, not a rule, based/expert system, generates new ideas, concepts via starving a trained neural net of meaningful inputs, forcing it to dream, cavitate, create new concepts, an attendant neural net used to capture, record, evaluate, and report on these writings. Now, I just want to digress here a second. A lot of criticism about Elon Musk. Two years ago, in a conference, Elon Musk said the next generation of the internet will go away. It will be the neural net. Maybe Elon and us are reading the same thing now. Only problem was he apparently got an advance copy. In this worldwide economy, our ability to create wealth is not bounded by physical limits, resources, but by our ability to come up with new ideas. Well, obviously, Mark Zuckerberg got a download. I mean, I could think of half a dozen others. Sergey Brin. I mean, that can go on. However, even universal wealth will not obviate the other causes of warfare, which include politics, faith, religion. All right. I'm sorry. I'm just saying the megalomania territory of disputes. Where are we today? I mean, think about this last one. That's why I'm laughing. I got a psychic imprint. Who are the three characters today? Trump, Putin, and Xi. Wow. Global problem solutions. You know, for a fake document, again, wow. All right, serious problems. Energy, water, food, land, population growth, wealth generation, polluting, warming. Killer app solution. 1, motivation, inexpensive, web-based, asynchronous, distant learning. We're already there. 2, biomass food via seawater, irrigation in current wastelands. They're doing it right now in the Middle East. It's how they're building these new super cities. You hear the one that the Saudis are building? Supposed to be something unimaginable. I don't know. Maybe they will soon be a tropical paradise. It seems that's the case. Inexpensive, motivational, asynchronous, web-based, distant education enables. Demise of the U.S. underclasses, wealth creation from enabled invention, stabilization of world population, even more rapid technology diffusion, equalization of haves and haves not, alter political, military outlooks worldwide, i.e. changes everything. Now, what gets me about this document, folks, it's so freaking detailed. Maybe this is many of yours first time seeing this. It still is a mind blower. Motivational learner / web-based asynchronous distant learning only method of providing requisite improved education. Now, in my technical background, I have been a part of writing several K-12 software systems, master student file systems, accounting systems into this. And when we began to see this evolution, and this has been back in 2003, look at where it is today. And here was the breadth, the depth, the quality, the responsiveness to shifting global economic warfare requirements, accelerated increase in knowledge. Well, we definitely see the increase in knowledge. At orders of magnitude, 1, reduce societal individual cost. Always the cost. What is your cost? You see, that's what they always weigh out on who's holding the books when you're born. What is your cost going to be as opposed to what they're going to be able to get off of you in your lifetime? You think about what pharmaceuticals are doing today. Do any of these drugs that we're on today ever cure anyone? No. But by the time you're 30, in an industrialized nation, you will be on a pharmaceutical drug every day. And as you get older, that will begin to increase. By 2025, 40% of private and 15% of public colleges and universities are expected to close due to web-based competition. Well, I can tell you that number was hit in 2015. Look at the amount of what we would call, look at Phoenix University, web-based. Now they now have a physical site, but there's just many of the schools now. You can get your graduate, postgraduate degree and never attend or step on a university campus. This is where it's heading. And they were predicting this, and we've already achieved this. The ultimate education approach, plug and play. Direct silicon or other such devices, connection to brain, very rapid uploads, education in minutes instead of many years. You think this is why they're deploying 5G? Is this what's happening to me and to others, where we're getting these downloads? I trust it's from another source, but we have to give it consideration. Advantages of shallow sea desert production of biomass via seawater irrigation. All of this is now happening. We are terraforming the planet. We've been doing it, mankind, from the day we first got here. All this is happening. Let's look at the society changes. Much increased lifespan. That's a problem, big problem, because you're going to cost continue more. And the problem is that now we've got machines taking over what you once used to be able to do that could be taxed. Solution to energy, water, warming, far more global distribution of technology, education, economics, wealth, tremendous increases in capability of automatic robotic everythings, resulting in reduced tensions associated with have and have-nots and historical religious issues. Well, we can't seem to solve that. It's plagued us from day one, and it's still plaguing us. Also, resulting in greatly increased individual destructive power, bio-IW, the general societal disaffection. And haven't we seen that? I mean, more and more of the youth today are completely disassociated with life. I don't understand the value of life. Life has no value. They're all integrated to the machine. Pink Floyd had it right. Major emerging law enforcement issues, privacy, ubiquitous micro and nano sensors. Listen, we're dealing with this now. It's so evasive, there is no privacy. IT net crime, wide spectrum, biocrime, binary pathogens, genetics, protection of human electronic implants. Protection of human electronic implants? I didn't realize there were that many that it needed protection. Protection of CONUS beyond terrorism, societal disaffection, upheavals caused by rapid technological changes, road air rage, psychosomatic illnesses, withdrawal. I mean, if this is not a crystal ball, I don't know what is. Of particular concern, uncontrolled, uncontrollable self-replication of brilliant robots, nano-replicators, and rampant recombinant bio. Recombinant bio. Rampant recombinant bio. I don't like the sound of that. I don't like the sound of that at all. Current competitive landscape. U.S. produces only 18% of world's gross domestic product, 70% of research conducted offshore, 400 billion year trade deficit. Well, we'd love to see that, wouldn't we? I think ours is projected in the U.S. to be what, 1.5 trillion? Let's see if that could be turned around. 32 other nations devote a larger percentage of their GDP to research, fifth in numbers of R&D, and it just goes in, as you can see. Now, isn't this interesting? As we look at this, look how it has come to pass. I mean, remarkable accuracy. Biorevolution application. Pharma animals, drugs, spare parts. Do you know in China now they actually are harvesting human spare parts? You right now, if you needed to get a heart, you went into the market. I don't know if this would be black market or not, but with the amount of money, you can buy yourself a heart. And it's getting so good, as it was reported with Barbara Streisand, who spent $50,000 having her dog replicated. Do you realize what's happening here, folks? Or is it psychically impacting you, what's going on, where you and I, all of us, are existing? This document is a fraud, remember? It's fake. Well, if it's the fake document again, let's continue. Fast-growing plants on or near sea surfaces and seawater irrigated plants for biomass energy, closed CO2 cycle. We're already doing this. Polymer growing plants. Spider genes in goats allow spider silk spinning from goat milk for biosteel. 3.5 times stronger in the fibers for armor. Binary bioweaponry. Now, again, examples: confluence of IT, bio, and nano. Brain of a sea limprey inserted, connected to a body of a robotic fish, an initial cyborg. They were doing this at the end of the 20th century. Choo-choo, a flesh plant-eating robot that hunts, biodigests natural foods to live off the land. Choo-choo. Wow. Carbon nanotubes. C to the 1 million Buckminster fluorine carbon. It's 100 times stronger, of 1/6 the weight of steel. It's 8 times better for armor. Low energy molecule petaflop computing 10 to the, well, all right, to the 4th power. Ultra capacitor, high temperature. We're already there. This is actually what made quantum computing possible. Revolutionary power generation storage opportunities, ultracapacitors, advantage of fuel cells, lithium, water, air, HEDM, solid H2 isomer, antimatter. Antimatter? Black light power. How many of you have heard that? Offshore methane hydrate. Free-form fabrication. Power, water, metallurgy using robotic magnetically steered electron beams to create accrediting local melts. Grow instead of cut. No fasteners. No strong backs for fasteners. Nearly infinite fatigue life, excellent metallurgy, repairable, metals at lower weight than far more expensive composites. Aluminum Vortec combustors, micro-powered aluminum fed into the Vortec combustor burns seawater, provides AIP, high energy density efficiency for inexpensive. What is SS? I can't see anyone in this. I got this on full screen. So This is like doing a talkathon, but it's important. Samples, new sensors. Look at these. Smart dust, nano IR, infrared, sensors implanted during manufacturing and servicing. All of the appliances today have all of these in them now. Again, some sensors, swarms, look at this, smart dust, cubic millimeter or less, combined sensors, communications and power supply, floats in air currents, nanotags, placed on everything, everywhere, identification and status info, co-opt insects. I told you this was going to be an adventure. And we're only on page 42 of 114 pages. Some explosive smart dust opportunities. Optimal positioning of explosive dust, air, explosive, formation of explosive lenses, infiltration of deeply buried and other such targets. Microdust weaponry. A mechanical analog to micron-sized mechanized dust, which is distributed as an aerosol and inhaled into the lungs. Dust mechanically bores into lung tissue and executes various pathological missions. A wholly new class of weaponry which is legal. Legal. How many of you have been suffering from this flu? Where does it attack you? Why is asthma worldwide now in children? I'm sure it wasn't anything. It's because this document's fake. They debunked it. The trolls were out there. They trolled it all the way. Yeah. Givens, now too soon. Gigabyte data transfer rates, optical communications, we're already there. Petaflop in computing, already there. Exceptional AI from bioinformatics, biometrics, we're already there. Wondrous, ubiquitous land, sea, airspace, multi-physics, hyperspectral sensor swarms, military, commercial, and scientific applications. Survival requires dispersion, size reduction, and concealment. Robotic swarm technologies, primarily commercial, endemic worldwide, already there. Agreed upon assumptions, combat in 2025. Proliferation of TBMs and IT, precision strike targeting, ambiguous microsensors, camo, spoofing, robotics, biochemical munitions, already there. Logistical assets, highly vulnerable, in or out of theater, in and out, in and near theater ports, airfields, possible, unusable. Beam weapons increasingly prevalent. Beam weapons, folks. I've done stories on this. Rex done stories on this. Beam weapons. Cruise missiles. Gets into the payloads. I mean, yeah, we're already there. And it continues on with cruise missiles. And, I don't particularly care about that. Volumetric weaponry, EMP, InfoNet psych warfare, miniature brilliant sensor mine combos, fuel air, dust air, thermal myrobotics, RF, chemical bio, anti-functionals, is that Farnham? Isomers, strain, bond energy releases, carbon fibers, blades, and acoustics. Ay, ay, ay. Let's see what they have to say. Anti-personal, mass weapons, radio frequency weaponry, heating, high-powered requirements, surface effects, brain interactions, low-frequency modulation. It's one of the things we're starting to learn about low frequencies. Not good for us. Behavioral performance, decrements, seizures, gross alteration in brain function, 30% to 100% increase in brain blood flow, lethality, interactions between low power, microwatts per square centimeter at 0.4 to 3 gigahertz. Holy crap. Effects of low power microwaves. Behavioral performance. It decreases. Seizures. Gross alteration in brain function. 30% to 100% increase in brain blood flow. It's lethal. Lethal. Maybe that's why Russia doesn't allow microwaves in their citizens. You can't have them. Often fingerprintless bio, excuse me, folks, this is a lot of talk. So let's go through. We have bacteriological, viruses, prawns, parasites, fungi, carcinogens, toxins, hormones, regulators, fatal to disabling, short to long-term scales, anti-flora, fauna, functional, direct and undetectable binary, natural, genomic, biohacking. Some interesting then-year possibilities. These are bioweapons. Aflatoxin, natural, parts per billion, carcinogen. Airborne varieties of Ebola, Lassa. How many incidents have we seen in the last 4 years of Ebola? Binary agents distributed via imported products, vitamins, clothing, food. Genomically, individually, and societal, targeted pathogens. Long-term, fingerprintless campaign as opposed to shock and awe. Bioweapons. An existing bioclamative Venezuelan equidine encephalitis. Ideal incapacitator bioweapon agent. Weaponized by the US and USSR in the 50s and 60s, easily transmitted via aerosol, highly infectious, low fatality rate, 1 to 5 incubation, 3-week recovery, tested on humans, Operation White Coat, no treatment available. Frontiers of rapidly growing genetic institutions, bio on the battlefield, sustainment, food, water, soil, air, purification, energy, meds, health, computing, clothing, generally reduces logistical tail and enhances capabilities. Lethality, capabilities enhanced, armor, concealment, living camo, sensors, bioweaponry, viruses what was that? Anti-personnel functional bioviruses into biocomputers. Explosives into fixation grows overnight. What is apparently legal? Well, we all need to know this one. Microwave, radio frequency, anti-functional, and anti-personnel weaponry. Chemical, anti-functional weapons. Chemical, psychological effects via sensory organs, weaponry, e.g. smell. Chemical, personnel, incapacitation weaponry, non-warfare, hostage, terrorism only, psych war, acoustic weaponry, mechanical, micro dust. Future non-nuclear explosives for volumetric weapons of mass effect. And I'll just let you all just read this. They've thought of everything. Transoceanic UAVs, current capacity. Well, today you look at what drones are, they're everywhere. They were called UAVs back in 2001. All this has happened. Blast wave accelerator, global precision strike on the cheap, no barrel, 200-foot notched rails, succinctly detonated, distributed high energy, Mach 21 or less as desired, up to 3,000 pounds. They've already got this. There was just a story 2 weeks ago on this. Base anywhere, $200 a pound per projectile. Excellent stealth, no plume, affordability, ferocity, reduction time, survivability, recallability, effectiveness. Being worked at Addergene and NASA for lofting and fuel nanosets. There we go. Again, this document is fake. You know, the trolls, agents of disinformation, proved it was fake. Amazing. The Slingatron for global precision strike. I love how they get it down to the cost on this. And we all know about the intelligence of their weapons. Now, this gets into the potential competitor military surveillance, intelligent targeting, damage assessment, utilization of international scientific global change program assets. Now, this is a lot to read. Anyone can leave. I'll leave a link when I repost this that you can actually get this. And you can go and look at these other sections that I'm kind of basically going over because, quite frankly, I think by now you're beginning to see what I was trying to tell you. Increasingly critical human limitations and downsides. Large, heavy, tender, slow, physically, mentally, required huge logistic trains, i.e. humans have rapidly decreasing to negative value added. That's the problem. With the Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, all of us was given a number. If you were born up to the age of, I believe it was 3, you had a zero value. You were worthless. Your cost was too high. Now, that zero value was also assigned to you once you reached, I think, in their books, they looked at their actuaries. I think after you hit 67, your decreased value went down and you eventually got to zero. Robotic in the large saves lives, enhances affordability, redefines risk threat environments, enhance effectiveness. You know, it's hard to really think of yourself simply in the matter of what your cost is. But that's what governments do. Emerging characteristics of robotic systems enabled by ongoing IT revolutions, communication sensors, computations, and miniaturizations from expert systems towards AI and beyond. Much more reactive than humans, greatly increased tempo, greatly improved hyperspectral sensors and data fusion, greatly improved accuracy and lethality, greatly improved affordability and miniaturization, redefines risk, minimal causality, salutes CNN syndrome, greatly reduces logistics. Robotic intelligence, 2 flavors, traditional AI, rule-based, experimental, behavioral-based, neural nets, other soft computing. Combination of these is current best bet per Markovia. This is the guy who actually was apparently a brain on this to produce artificial cyber life, which will probably be sentient, but will not be anthropomorphic. I know I didn't spell it. It's just my mouth gets dry. So what can I say, folks? And here's the evolution chart. So what I am getting, they're planning our demise. Robotic, automatic, autonomous warfare. Computer capability will exist beyond teraflop to do AI or better. Required connectivity is a given. Competitor capabilities and tempo sidelines, the innate inadequacies of human interaction, education, conscious decision timelines. Little to no troops, Acme Warfare Limited, flat hierarchy, demise of the man in the chair, high level, soft science, human aspects, boundary conditions, sociological, humanitarian, political, environmental, religious, psychological, economics, and etc. All these you don't have to worry about these with robots. Non-explosive warfare. It's all here. I'm just going to go very slowly here so you can begin to see as well. This document is a frightening picture. And the reason why it's frightening is because we have 17 years now to weigh it out. And if you can find something in here that hasn't happened, let me know. I mean, they have thought of everything on here. Again, potential workarounds for beam weapon effects on missile sensors and communications, offboard sensors, optical communications, optical fluidic computing, optical GPS. And imagine now what they can do. I'd love to see another document like this that would now project the same timeline into the year, let's say, 2060. Let's look at the civilian examples. National banking system computers, 3 sides nodes. Yep. Interruptions in national international payment systems, irrecoverable. You see, this is the blueprint. Now, of course, this is a fake document. I'm just, and then there is Nano. Wow. I'm just going to go through here. This is amazing. So all of this, as you can see, I'm saving my voice, is here. All of it. And I wanted to get into where they actually talk about the psych wars. They get into how they can begin to literally counters to U.S. information dominance. We've seen all of this now. I mean, if you buy the whole line in Washington, then the Russians have completely compromised the U.S. election system. They apparently can hack into any computer and do it at virtually free will. I mean, that's what they're trying to say to us. And it seems like they kind of recognized this 17 years ago. So Sink carriers via swarm attacks capture, torture Americans in living color on prime time. Terror attacks within Conus binary bio critical infrastructures, takes downs. All of this has happened. Serious psych war, collateral damage, exploitation. And as we get down near the end, you can see. So I will leave this. This is quite interesting when you begin to look at this. And everything they have predicted, everything they wrote about is here. Circa 2025, machines as creative and smart as humans, robotic the norm, Zeroth order warstopper, binary bio into nation's agriculture food distribution system, every home as a foxhole, next level of concern, ubiquitous, cheap, micro to nano everything, sensors, munitions, weapons, swarms, hordes, battlefield attrition, CNN syndrome, U.S. Army to look and act like SOCOM. Yeah. So there you go, folks. Yeah. Amazing, isn't it? Let me get back here where I can see everyone. So anyway, there you go. You've seen it for yourself now. And for those who didn't get completely too freaked out or bored, it's an interesting document. I'm just kind of reading some of the things going on in the chat room. So when I look at this, I mean, what do you say? I would say if it's a fake document, then it's one of the most brilliant masterpieces of deception that I've ever seen or encountered. Yeah, Ken, it is amazing, isn't it? It is insane. When you guys see this, it's just absolutely insane. And when I repost this, I'll make sure to leave the link so you can all download the same PDF. Keep it, go through it, examine it, go through anything that you think that may. But what's so weird is that now I look back on this and it kind of freaks me out. I mean, are we living in an augmented, pre-programmed reality? All right, folks, before I let you go, before I go, you can do whatever you need or want. Friday night, we're going to give a counter to all this. Lisa Barnett of the Akashic Record, an author and founder of the Akashic Knowing School, she is going to be our special guest. And she has a number of free gifts that she's going to be giving away. I encourage you to tune in Friday night. This is a remarkable woman. What she does for the individuals when you add everything else that we have on this journey, it's quite amazing to see this. Tomorrow night, please come over and give a listen over in the Artists First Network, 10 o'clock Eastern. On the Steiger perspective, we're going to be picking up on the NASA wars again. We're going to continue getting into this discussion because if this was predicted back in 2001, July, when it was presented, so you have to really backdate this and go, well, listen, this had to be into the planning already in the late 90s. So where are we at now? I mean, like I said, I'd love to see this companion document of what they're projecting going out, how far. So thank you, everyone. Y'all are the best. Hey, listen, we're learning. You know, I heard the best thing today when I got this download. Hate is the absence of knowledge. So think about that. If someone hates something, it's because they have the absence of knowledge. Think about that. All right, folks, I appreciate all of you. Blessings to all of you. We will see you again soon. All right. Bye-bye. Be